Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Bloom Outdoors. So first thing I guess you can notice with the truck is I put the 12 wides back on, put the stocks back over there in the corner. But pretty much for this video is I got in the Rough Country 8-stage adjustable shocks. You can see what they look like here. These things are super thick around. Can't even get my hand all the way around it. I believe these are 2.5 inches in diameter. The ones I have on the truck right now are I think they're the V2s. Yeah, V2s. I believe they're 2 inches in diameter, and these are 2.5 in diameter. So these are quite a bit beefier. They also have the whole reservoir right here and the adjustable knob up top and everything. If you guys are wondering on price, these were about $800, I believe. There'll be a link for this stuff down in the description below. I also ordered the front struts, but those aren't here yet. Those are on back order. Excuse the noise, it's pretty windy outside, but I closed the door and I'm doing it in here, but you can still hear the wind on the side of the building and everything. But yeah, so these are what they look like. Pretty much in this video, just gonna go ahead and install them and pretty much see how they ride. I think this video might just be the install of it, and then whenever I get the other ones in, we'll kind of do a full-on drive test with them just to see how the whole setup rides. You guys remember when I talked about the review for this lift, I said it was pretty good. You know, on the stock wheels and tires, it rode pretty good, like super good. But once you add the heavy wheels and tires that stick out and stuff, then that's when it starts to ride not so great. So pretty much I had a comment, don't remember who commented it, but just said go ahead and upgrade to the adjustable ones. So I kind of said screw it and just went ahead and did it. So we have the rear shocks in right now. Still kind of have to wait for the front struts to get here, but for now I just want to go ahead and install these while I got them and kind of test them out and see how they ride. The only thing with them that might be an issue is the wheel well liners I have. So as you can see, this is how much of a gap we have, and this is just with the 2-inch. So the 2.5 will probably stick out to right here, and then we've got the reservoir added onto that, which will stick out probably to like right here. So I don't know if these wheel well liners are going to work. I might have to trash these, or I don't know, just get new ones. These are Husky wheel well liners, and as you can tell, they drop down pretty far here. I think Rough Country or some other brands might make them, and they go to just right here. This is just kind of some extra added protection. Otherwise, I might just have to end up cutting this one for now. Might just have to cut out a piece right there so that the reservoir will fit. And then maybe just have to order some smaller ones that only go to right there, so that way the shock won't get in the way of it. So install on these should be pretty easy. I've never done shocks before, but I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty easy. Pretty sure you just have to take out the top and rear bolt on there. Yeah, the bolt and nut that holds it in. And then pretty much just go ahead and put the new ones in, compress it to where it fits, put the new ones in. Yeah, make sure you have the zip ties on here because you've got the, can't think of the name, but like the seal in here and stuff. It's on the top and bottom. You cut that off and the metal pieces will come off. So make sure you have the zip tie on there until you're ready to install it so that none of these pieces fall off. Like I just mentioned though, they're 8-stage adjustable, with 1 being the softest ride and 8 being the firmest. We tried to watch a couple videos on it to kind of see where people were putting them at, and it looked like with 1, it rode really nice down the interstate and stuff, but when you were driving in town, you did have some body roll. If you guys don't know what that is, then pretty much you just, when you turn, you can feel the whole truck kind of tilt to the side. Feels like the truck's literally gonna roll because it's such a soft ride. So what I saw is driving on like 3 or 4 in town is pretty good. If you're gonna be driving pretty much just like interstate, stuff like that, then 1 should be pretty good for you. Otherwise, if you're going like off-roading and stuff, turn it up to 7 or 8. I don't know what else is with it though. I think it should be a pretty easy install. Hopefully, shouldn't take too long here. Should just be undoing the bolts on the top and bottom and getting them taken off and getting the new ones thrown in there. Pretty sure you also have to torque down the bolts that hold them in there. I believe it was 66 pounds if I remember correctly. So as you can see, eventually I ended up getting them out. So they were kind of a big struggle here because first of all, the wheel well liner was in the way. So I pretty much had to go ahead, take that out, set it right here. I got all the wires for the rock lights running on the top of it. So it just kind of has to sit right here for now. Here's the nut that was on the top. So this was causing me quite some trouble because I had no idea that this was whatever this is. I think it's like welded onto this piece. I have no idea. I thought it was just stripped out at first, but it's not. It might be right there. I really have no idea. But pretty much it's connected to this piece, so this thing would not turn at all. That's why I couldn't get the top off, and pretty much I had to take out the wheel well liner. To get all this stuff off, you'll need an 18 mil and a 15. Probably wrenches work the best. Some sockets, just depends where you're at. You can't get a socket on the backside in there to hold on to that. So you kind of have to get a wrench on that. Or actually, I think this piece didn't even spin, it just kind of stayed there. So if you have a wheel well liner, you just got to take that out and mess with it on this side. The bottom, I did a wrench on the side of the tire and a socket on the other side. But eventually I got it out. I got the top one out first. The bottom went down and it was compressed probably to like right about here when it was sitting on the truck. So I pulled it down. It sat right on top of the exhaust right there and it just kept compressing out or decompressing, I guess. I don't know. But it went up over there and then eventually I ended up getting it out. Kind of a bit of a struggle because I thought that nut on the top was stripped out, but it actually wasn't. Now that we have the one out, we can just go ahead and compare them. So here's the difference between the two. As you can tell, even the, whatever you want to call this piece, is a lot wider than this one. You can kind of see that there. This is like 3/4 of an inch around and this is 1 inch around. And then even up here too, like I told you earlier, I'm pretty sure this is a 2 inch and this is a 2.5 inch. This thing's super beefy. This thing's way heavier too. This is probably 30 pounds where this is like 7. So it's definitely a lot heavier. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead, put the one back in on that side and then we'll see if that wheel well liner fits. If not, for now, I'm probably just gonna cut the one I have and then order a smaller one because I don't really want it to look bad sitting in there with one that's in there cut. So I don't think it matters which side goes on which. Yeah, they have the same serial number and stuff too, so I'm pretty sure it does not matter which side goes on which because they both have the stickers on both sides and everything. So it looks the same. The only thing with it I do know when you install it is the reservoir on this side. You want to make sure it's facing that way since the shock sits on the back part. So facing upwards on the driver's side and then on the passenger side, it's in the front, not the back. So like the other one sits right here and it faces that way. This one sits in the front, so you're gonna have to face it that way. It looks like it might be the same issue with this side. So I'm hoping that's gonna fit somehow. I really have no idea, but I guess I'm gonna have to figure it out. I really don't even know if this thing's gonna fit. Well, it bolts in right there, so that thing should sit right about here. So I might have to cut off this section right there. I'll see. Might have to take this liner out as well. I'm assuming I will, because yeah, it was kind of hard to reach that bolt on this side. It was kind of hard to reach that. So if you do have wheel well liners, chances are you'll have to take them out. But yeah, so we'll just go ahead and try and get this new one put in there. I would assume you probably put the top one in first. That just seems easier to me. And then also, like I said, make sure you cut the zip ties off of here. So we'll go ahead, cut this guy off of here. I'll probably leave it compressed with the string just to see how it fits. Because this one was compressed pretty far, maybe almost to where this was, to where like it's holding the string here, if not further. So let's just try it with the string, see what happens, because these are, I'm guessing, gonna be pretty hard to push back in there to get it all to compress. Okay, so probably an hour later, I eventually got this one side on, the one shock on this one side. My biggest struggle was trying to get the shock compressed. So like I did say though, how 1 was kind of the softest setting. So I put them on 1 to try and compress it. And then I put it on 8 as well. And I kind of did it to test it out before I actually put it in there. And it seemed like 1 was the easiest to compress to actually get in there. But still, I just did not have enough room under the truck to be able to compress that thing to get it shoved up in the bottom mount. So I put the top bolt on just enough to kind of keep it held on there. And the only way I could really get to do this, I couldn't get under there and push it up. I don't know if I'm just not strong enough or didn't have the right angle or what. Like I told you guys, I've never really done this before, so I'm kind of new at this. So basically what I did is I just took the floor jack, jacked it up enough to compress it and then slide it in there. And then the bottom holes didn't quite line up because it was sitting on the bottom. As you can see, there's a gap there, so I couldn't get it lined up. So basically I had to take a screwdriver, shove it in the hole enough and wiggle it around to where I was able to get the bolt in on the one side, get the nut put on. And as of right now, they're on there, they're tight. You can see there's slack in that like paracord or whatever it is that kind of halfway compresses it. So yeah, don't take that off before because it would have been way harder to do. I think we're good on this side. Basically, I'll just have to put the wheel well liner back in, but I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other side put on. And then after I get them both put on, I'm gonna go back through and torque them. All right guys, excuse the wind noise. It's quite windy outside as you can tell. But I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys that I got all this stuff finished up. I was kind of occupied with something else, so I couldn't really film throughout doing everything. But long story short, I guess, since this took about 3 hours in total, I think I said it was quite a pain to get this one. From the start, I know I said that I'm pretty sure it didn't matter which shock went on each side. I may be wrong about that because this side was a little too long with the string they had on there, so I had to compress it to get it to go up, and the other side was a little too short. So I don't know, I didn't really put them side by side to see the length of them, see if they were already compressed the same. I'm not really sure on that. One may go on the correct side, I'm not 100% sure on that. Otherwise, I just had to compress it and then cut the string on the other side and compress it again on that side too, because when I cut the string, I couldn't get it to land just right in the shock mount. So I got both of them put on and then went ahead, got all the strings cut off and everything, and then I went through and I torqued them down to 66 pounds. Pretty sure that's right for what it is. And then pretty much I just went ahead and cut the wheel well liner to make these fit. It's not a perfect job, as you can tell. I just took a pair of tin snips and tried to cut around it so that way they would actually fit and the wheel well liner wouldn't be pressed up against it and potentially rip the wheel well liner out from hitting the tire or break the shock in any way. And also this way I can reach in and actually adjust it. So that's what they look like as of right now. I'll probably go and buy a smaller set of wheel well liners, something that'll sit right at the bottom of the bed line there instead of drop down further. So that way I won't have to cut anything and they'll fit just fine. So yeah, that's what this side looks like. And then the other side's basically the same thing, just a little different because this one is on the front. My cutting job's probably a little worse on this side, but it is what it is. I'll get something new ordered and try and get those put on. But yeah, so that's what it looks like. I'm not gonna do a full-on review over them. This video is kind of just to install. Like I told you guys, I have the fronts coming. I also have some upper control arms coming. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of put all that stuff on and then do a full like review or test drive, I guess, of how it rides. That's pretty much it for the install. It wasn't super difficult. Hardest thing was probably compressing the shocks to get them put in the holders, like their mounts. But other than that, it really wasn't terrible, and especially because I've never done them before. I didn't think it was too bad. It was just the 2 bolts and then compressing the shock to get it up in there. And then of course, if you have the wheel well liners, you'll have to cut them if you have the same ones I do, which these are the Husky wheel well liners. But yeah, so that's pretty much gonna be it for this video. You guys stay tuned. I think within the next 2 weeks or so, hopefully the fronts should be here, along with the upper control arms, and we'll get all that stuff taken care of and then end up doing some kind of a test drive review thing over it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna be it for the video. So if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that about what I just did, go ahead, drop it down in the comments below. But other than that, thanks for watching another video of Bloom Outdoors. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.